morning, everyone. Wow, it's been so long since my last video, and even longer since my last church feature. You know, since international travel restrictions were lifted, I've had to do a couple of travels for work, and it's basically kept me away. So I found a window of opportunity now to ride out and do a video. So for this video, I intend to do something special. It's going to feature a church that's located near, well, a historic church that's located near Laiya, San Juan, Batangas, which is a place which is known for its beaches. The name of the church is San Juan Nepomuceno. It's not as old as the other churches we've visited, but it has an interesting history behind it. You'll find out as we progress in this video. So we'll first visit the church, and then we'll go to a quaint cafe that's almost beside the church. Now that cafe also has its own interesting family history, so we'll try to explore that a bit later. Then, after having breakfast at that cafe, we'll try to find the ruins of the old San Juan Nepomuceno church, because you know, sometime in 1894, because the previous location of the church suffered from a lot of flooding, they had to move the church to another location. So that the old location is now abandoned, and I am told that it has a couple of ruins there, and it's a beautiful place. Now, the thing is that I couldn't find it on Google Maps, and I've interviewed the people there, or a couple of people there, and they basically told me the general area where I could find the ruins. Now, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of exploring, and I'm hoping we find the old ruins. I'm told it's not gonna be that difficult to find. And then, of course, since we're in Laiya, well, you might as well swim in one of the beaches there, right? So it's gonna be a full day. George and BY are gonna be riding with me, and I'm gonna meet them at the gasoline station here in South Luzon Expressway. We're gonna take a trip that's around 117 kilometers from the south of Metro Manila all the way to San Juan. Now, if you look at the map, San Juan is located sort of like at the bottommost part of Batangas as you ride south, and it's gonna take us 2 hours to get there, around 2 hours. So, okay. Next order of business is to meet George and BY at the gasoline station.
BY and George were already at the gas station when I arrived, and so we quickly hit the road. Our first stop will be breakfast at Cafeno in San Juan, Batangas, which is very close to San Juan Nepomuceno Church.
Okay, so we have arrived here in San Juan. We decided to stop here by the cafe place first before going to church. And the name is Cafeno. And okay, you guys remember my friends, BY and George.
Morning.
So the name of the place is Cafeno, and we just parked our motorbikes right outside by the road. So that's BY's bike, that's George's bike. And here's my trusty old sink. And we've got some big bike riders passing by. I don't know where they're going. Maybe they're going to Laiya. Good morning. Hello, you're Anna, right?
No, I'm the sister. I'm Sidel.
Sidel.
Yes,
Hi.
hi.
So great to be
Welcome
back. Yes. So that's Sidel and her sister is Anna. They both run this place called Cafeno, right across the lovely San Juan Nepomuceno.
Yes.
So, who can tell me something about your lovely cafe?
Yeah, we've been open since 2006. We reopened just this year after closing because of the pandemic. So my sister and I took over. My mom used to handle it. So we did a lot of simple upgrades, not touching the bones of the cafe. So it's mostly a lot of repainting, adding a coffee bar, retail area, and just spacing out the table. So we wanted to be attractive to locals and tourists.
And I understand that this cafe has some kind of history attached to it, right?
Yes, this is a heritage home, so it's more than 100 years old. Yeah, this specific cafe used to be where the gas station is. So we have pictures and paintings all over, and articles about the house itself and the cafe.
The Bayan. It used to be in another area, and that used to be right beside the river. So there was this really big flood, and they decided to move the location of the Bayan here. So actually, nagbayanihan sila, and then the church, as well as this house and a few other houses na ancestral, were actually carried over by bayanihan. So if you have the chance to tour the house, you'll find similarities between the house and the church that you're going to visit. This is the house, it's the actual house.
Yeah.
And then in the past, it used to be a gas station, and then it used to be a general store inside. So this particular portion is the general store.
Which one?
This one, the one that we're in, the white wall.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, so everything past this white wall into the glass area is just an expansion.
So this was the general store.
And then right outside, you would have the gas station.
That would be the gas station.
So when we had the cafe a few years after we started, we expanded it.
Okay.
Original tiles. All of it.
What do you call this kind of style of tiles?
Oh, these are old Spanish tiles naman. And then later on inside the house, we actually yung mga parang mga machuca tiles. Yeah. So the people here, they pour barako into their food, right? On their food.
Onto the rice only.
Onto the rice. So let's. Oh,
Where'd you get that?
oh.
That is there you go. I don't pour any egg, just the rice.
But I put my egg over the rice.
Well, because it might taste bitter, right?
Okay. So
So I didn't want
so that's barako right there, and I poured it onto the rice. So let's see it.
After a wonderful breakfast, it's time to visit San Juan Nepomuceno Parish Church. San Juan Nepomuceno Parish Church was first built with bamboo and thatch in 1843 in San Juan de Bocboc, which is now called Barangay Pinagbayanan. It was rebuilt with stone in 1855 by Father Damaso Mojica, but it was destroyed by floods in 1883. The church and convent were eventually transferred in 1894 to its present site, along with the rest of the town. The square bell tower was added much later, between 1928 and 1935, and it was designed with the high Renaissance style. This is why it looks different from the pseudo-Baroque architectural style of the church's facade. In front of the church is an antique bell with a big gaping chip and the statue of San Juan Nepomuceno.
So I was told that masses here in this church tend to be crowded because this is the only main church here in San Juan. There are some chapels around, but this church is the only church in this locality. Okay, so let's check if we can access the museum.
Big lake.
Yeah,
That's where we are
here's
now.
the map of San Juan.
Yeah, and then we're gonna come down here and I think, where was the estuary? There was an estuary somewhere
Yes.
around here, right? So here's the ruins, I think somewhere around here.
So we just have to check it out. By the way, they said that the museum's open.
Oh, so we can?
Yeah,
we can just go
yeah,
in?
just go in.
Okay, alright.
Do the honors. All right.
Okay.
So this is the museum right beside the church, and it shows the history of the church. I guess pictures and old relics. So this here is the old altar table. I guess this is the old altar from the first church. Okay, so we're going to the loft of the church, and from here you can see the whole church. And below the bell tower is the baptistry. So this here is the baptistry.
Okay, everyone. So that's San Juan Nepomuceno Church, and we'll now proceed to our little adventure to find the ruins of the first church, because this church was originally situated in a place which is now called Pinagbayanan, but that place is close to the sea and it's a bit low, so it always used to get flooded. And so sometime in the 1890s, and for this church particularly in 1894, they had to move it out of that place into its current location now. So we look for those ruins. And the owners of the cafe where we were at for breakfast earlier today told me that a couple of houses were actually transported or transplanted from that place to here together with the church. And so I really want to see it. It's now piqued my interest. So I hope we get to find it. I have the general directions to go to the locality, but finding the ruins would be a challenge all by itself. So let's get back on the road. Nasa yung dating simbahan? Yung dating simbahan, yung ruins? Hindi ba alam? Sige, salamat. Let's... Oh, wait. Here, right here. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So we found it.
Yeah. We'll be interested to find out. Sometimes on the side of buildings,
Yeah.
you can see watermarks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Like that one over there.
Yeah.
So this sign says this is the Sitio Ibaba or Ibaba. Translated literally in English means low. So I guess that really means that this place is quite low and gets flooded all the time, which makes sense. It matches the story behind the move of the church from this location to its current location in San Juan, in the center of San Juan. So here, I don't know what the first word says. Oh, here stood the first church of San Juan. Okay, let's open it. Sidel told me that the church and nearby houses were moved to their new location through the Filipino concept of community spirit called Bayanihan, and that's why the former town of Bokbok is now called Pinagbayanan.
of course, the San Juan, Laiya area is known for its lovely beaches. So whenever you're here, you should make it a point to visit one of the beaches here. Just don't get thrown off by the location of the sun. You know, since Batangas is located in the western part of Luzon, people normally expect the sun to set on the side of the ocean rather than on the side of the mountain. But if you look at the contour of the coast of the western coast of Luzon, you will notice that this region actually faces, this part of Batangas rather, actually faces the east. So the sun actually rises at the side of the ocean, which is right there, and sets at the side of the mountain right behind me. So yeah, and let me show you the beach.